This is the new carbon fiber engine cover from RapidRev for the C8 Corvette. And today we're going to show you guys how to get it installed. All right, so once you've got the top open, you're gonna have, on stock models, you're gonna have a black plastic cover here on hardtop convertible models. So on ours, obviously we've got our RapidRev clear engine cover on here, and the removal process is gonna be identical whether you've got the stock one or ours. There are going to be 18 of these T15 Torx bits around the perimeter of the cover. So you're just gonna need to go through and take each one of those off so that we can actually access the engine bay and get to where we're gonna be putting the cover. Now, if you have a coupe model, the process is pretty similar, only you're not gonna have one of these covers. Odds are your coupe already has an engine cover on, and that process is gonna flow well with the next step of this. So if you have a coupe, go ahead and skip to the next step. But for hardtop convertible owners, go ahead and just remove all of those bolts around the edge here. Removing a bunch of hardware like this, it's always a good idea to get you a little bolt bin or something over here so you can kind of secure your hardware and make sure that you're not losing it or dropping it down into the engine bay. Some of these little Torx bits, they can be a little tricky when you're pulling them out. So what I would suggest is, as you're loosening them, get them close to the end and then kind of just loosen the end of it with your finger there so that you make sure you don't drop this little guy down into the engine bay or anything. Now these back lower ones here, they can be a little tricky. You might need to get yourself a little bit of an extension. I've got one kind of over here. Just behind those hinges, they get to be a little tough to get to, so an extension will help you get down right in there and get those out with no issues. So once you've got all the bolts around from the edges of the clear cover here, you're gonna wanna go to the back points here, where if you installed the clear cover yourself, you know those back grommets there on one side and they're a little tricky to get to, and we don't want those to fall down once we lift this cover off. So what I would suggest is coming over here and kind of just gently lifting up on the back side of this and then pulling out these grommets here so that they don't slide down and fall into the engine bay or anything like that. So you got one here and one here, and then you got the same thing on this side. You're gonna have one here and one up top here. All right, and then once all those are off, we're gonna lift up on the clear cover and we're gonna gently do that so that the grommets that are in here don't fall down anywhere. When you take this off, or your factory one, the black plastic, either way, it'll be the same process. What you're gonna wanna do is lift it up and kind of push it backwards in here and then up to get it out of the engine bay. And once that's out, if you've got the OEM one, you're good here, you're ready for the next step. You've got the clear cover here. You're gonna wanna take the grommets out. And it's probably not necessary to take them all out, but you just don't want any chance of these falling down in the engine bay. Now I will say that if you do drop any of these in the engine bay and you can't retrieve them for any reason, hop over to our website. We do sell replacement hardware kits for these. You know, just so you've got an extra set of spares if you need them. Now this is another one of those steps that's going to vary a little bit based on whether you have a coupe or a hardtop convertible. So with a hardtop convertible, at this point, you're going to have two bolts here and then another one on the opposite side here that are securing these fuel rails, okay? And then on the back sides here, you're not going to have any bolts. So those are where you're going to use the included bolts in the kit. Coupe owners, you're already going to have your engine cover here and you're going to simply remove the four that are there. On a convertible model, you're going to have this little piece here, little Christmas tree guy. You're just going to want to kind of nudge that out gently. On the coupe models, it's very similar, but you're going to have this rail down here and it's going to go into the front of your engine cover and it's going to have the same style clip. So just kind of carefully wiggle that out of there and make sure to do it gently so that you don't break the clip or anything. And then at that point, you should be at the same step here once these bolts have been removed. And now these bolts here are going to be 10mm bolts on these brackets right here. So just take those out really easily. Now when it comes to this cover, you're gonna have to kind of get down here sideways a little bit with it. That back end's gonna drop down in there, and then we need to make sure that this front end is underneath of these lines as well. So it's just gonna take a little bit of wiggling and playing with it to get it in there. Just don't force it. You know, if it doesn't feel right, go ahead and back out of there and make sure that you've got everything in the right positioning and that you're not breaking anything or, you know, putting too much stress on any of these lines. Now once you've got this in here, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that you get this back in here and just kind of lightly rock it to get it in there. Coupe models, like I said, you're just going to push that back in and make sure it's secure on there. So then once you get the engine cover in there, you're just going to go backwards to that process and put your OEM engine cover on, or your RapidRev clear engine cover. So that's all it's going to take to get this on here today. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next video.